It's October this month, so I'm going to have scary Goosebumps novels. And this is exciting. It's exciting. I know there are other people on YouTube who have done Goosebumps book reviews, and I hope they don't get super mad at me for posting a lot of Goosebumps this month. So I'm going to do books 1 through 8. Welcome to Deadhouse, I seem to think was great, and then Stay Out of the Basement was also good. I really like the Goosebumps books. I'm glad that I decided to read them, because I did not read these books in elementary school when I was a kid. Everybody liked them in like 4th and 5th grade, but I thought they were too scary. But I'm glad that now I'm an adult, I went back to the Goosebumps series and read them and enjoyed them. So, on the 8th, murder books. I did a poll here asking what scary books I should do reviews for. So, everybody wanted to see the Dollhouse murders. I forget when I read this book. It must have been like 3, 4, or 5 years ago. Somebody commissioned me to read it. It's a book where, like, murders in a dollhouse happen in real life. Something creepy like that. And also the Batman murders, which has murder in the title. So those are the two books that people wanted me to read. Then more Goosebumps. Goosebumps Monster Blood. I did not like this one. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was terrible. There was a scary scene where somebody almost dies in a bathtub, but besides for that, didn't like it. Number 4, Say Cheese and Die, was a book I really enjoyed. It's kind of got a high concept that you take pictures and whatever happens in the picture happens in real life. Woo! I liked it. It's sort of like an episode of The Twilight Zone. That's a thing that happens in several Goosebumps books. Then, something nobody requested, romance novels. Halloween romance novels. There were 2 of them published it in the same month, back to back, and they're both kind of terrible. But I read them, and now you get to see my reviews for them. Back to Goosebumps. Curse of the Mummy, I completely forget what happens in that book. There's a mummy who attacks, right? Oh, ooh, look, my description says Gabe constantly complains. Is he the whiner boy? Oh, no, not the whiner boy character. So that's something that happened in the early Goosebumps a lot, too, is that we had this character who's super whiny. Especially in book number 1. Yeah, book number 1. The brother is the really whiny character. And then in book number 3, the narrator's sort of the whiny character. And same with book number 5, the narrator being the whiny killer. Book 5, the narrator is the whiny character. Book 6, the younger brother is the whiny character. That's something that happens a lot in the Goosebumps books. I just pointed out 4 of them in 6 books. It plays on like the horror movie trope of the whiny character. You can't wait to see that character get killed by the serial killer. That's what I think the author was playing with. I like book number 6. That was another Goosebumps book, which I thought had a high concept and a great execution with rising tension. I mean, the idea is, hey, you're turning invisible, which doesn't sound like it would be scary, but it gets scarier and scarier as it goes on. We've got evil mirror doubles and stuff like that. Then we have the 2 mysteries. If you've been watching this channel, you know that all this year I've been posting mysteries. So, Ellery Queen, every month we've had an Ellery Queen story. This is his Halloween story where he goes to a Halloween party and somebody's murdered in the dark. And I've also been posting a Sherlock Holmes story. Ooh, this is one where like a banker comes to him saying he has to find a very expensive crown. Yeah, and there was drama with his family. Yeah, I remember that one. I think it was okay. And oh, Goosebumps number 7, Night of the Living Dummy. Terrifying book. Oh, Slappy the Dummy. Well, Slappy the Dummy, and then it's Mr. I'm totally forgetting. Mr. Wood, I think, is the other dummy's name. Mr. Wood is the main villain in this, not Slappy. But it's just really scary where the ventriloquist dummy comes to life and beats our heroes, like quite literally hits them and wants to make them into his slaves. And currently, there's a Goosebumps Slappy series going on. There's a lot of Slappy books out there right now. And then The Girl Who Cried Monster. I don't think that's anybody's favorite, but I seem to remember it was okay with a silly plot twist at the end. Then I've got commissions, so I have been commissioned to read Hannah Swensen number 21, Banana Cream Pie Murder. All right, so is this the one where her husband is missing? Or no, this is not it. Anyway, I remember nothing about this book then. We get to see how Hannah and her husband work together because they just got married. And this book is not going to win over anybody who is skeptical about their relationship. Now that they're married, it doesn't make... I mean, it could have been the case that he and she were a great married couple and they solved mysteries together and they're fantastic. But no, if you hated him before the wedding, you're not going to like him after the wedding. And this was another commission, Jenny Green's Killer Junior Year, which I'm going to age restrict this video, so nobody under the age of 18 will be able to watch it, because it's got a lot of adult content. I did not like this book. The overall premise is that Jenny, she's in junior year of high school, she meets a bunch of terrible guys and becomes a serial killer, and she just kills a lot of people right and left. Also, Cirque du Freak number 5, Trials of Death. That'll be on the 29th. And then Sammy Keys number 2, when I get around to reading it. And now, here are the book reviews I did in September. I won't post them this month. I'll post them eventually. I have no idea when these things will be posted. Rainbow Magic Fairy. I did post a video last month saying I finished the Rainbow Magic Fairy series. And I did. So those are the last 5 books in the series that I read last month in September. The series goes up to 178 books and 51 special editions. Now the series is still going in England, so there are more books besides, there are more books that came out after these ones, but not in my country, so I can't read them. Cirque du Freak number 6. Basically, books 4 through 6 make a trilogy, and I just read the entire trilogy at once. Harlequin Intrigue, Secret Agent Santa. It's a Christmas romance novel. You can look forward to me posting that in December. Batman book, Batman to stalk a specter. So Batman goes up against this serial killer? Not a serial killer. It's a terrorist. This guy keeps blowing up buildings because he wants to stop a trial. And Batman has to find this villain named Spectre and stop this villain. Goosebumps 22, Ghost Beach. Doesn't really take place on a beach, but I thought it was scary. It was definitely a scary one. A Barbie book, Barbie Skipper's Babysitting Blues. I finished reading Rainbow Magic Fairy, as you saw, so it's like, great, well, what am I going to read with my little girl next? Well, I figured, I could go back to reading the Barbie books, so there'll probably be a lot more Barbie book reviews in my future, because I'm going to read the books to my kid. Might as well make reviews for them, right? They are fairly short and simple books. God Loves the Autistic Mind. So this was a book I got. It's a religious book. I don't think I've done any religious books on my channel before, but this is from one of those priests who's popular in Twitter, and he is autistic himself, Father Schneider, and he wrote a book about autism, and so that's why I picked it up and decided to do a review for it before passing it along to people in my church. Batman Inferno. I did not like this book very much. The premise is that the Joker has stolen the Batsuit and the Batmobile, and now he's impersonating Batman and causing problems all over town, which, would have been okay. About a third of the book is a new villain named Onfer who's setting the town on fire, and there's very little Batman in this book. I'm sorry, you will see the review eventually, and I'll explain in better detail why I didn't like this book. I have started reading the second book by this author. The author is Alex Irvine. So the second book, I'm enjoying it far more than this one. And Rainbow Magic number 13, Storm the Lightning Fairy. There were so many changes that they made to this book when they released it in the United States. So here's like a 20-minute video detailing all those changes. And then finally, it looks like the last book I did a review for last month was Pizza Lovers number 4, Rest in Pizza. I did not like that book very much either. There's only 2 books left in the series, though, so I'll read the next 2 books, and then that'll be it for Pizza Lovers. It was a fairly short series, although, 6 books, it probably went on for 5 to 7 years, so that's not insignificant. As for writing, I spent all of last month working on the next draft of the Mom book. Here's some concept art from the game. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful October. I hope you enjoy the Goosebumps book reviews.